Okay guys, let me open the notepad. We will do a small recap about yesterday's class. Yesterday we were discussing about what we are discussing about the scanner class, right? So what was introduction? What is a scanner class? To collect inputs from the end user. So typically the input from the keyboard, right? If you want to make interaction between the Java program and the console, if you want to create a communication between the Java program and the console, you go for scanner class. You collect the input through keyboard, right? The input that you collect will be used to perform the operations. What kind of operations? Any operations that meets the business requirement, right? It is part of java.util package, right? And we know how to create the object for the scanner class. Okay, the the constructor will accept an argument called system.in, which means the inputs are being collected from the keyboard, and these are the methods. If you want to collect the data, the byte data, okay, this is what the method is: for short, for integer, for long, for next, for the float, for double, and we know the difference between next and the next line. Okay. For the next method, the spaces, the moment it finds a space, that will not be considered. No matter how many consecutive words are there, they will be ignored. But the next line will consider all the characters, all the letters, or all the words that is typed by the end user in the console. To collect the boolean data, we can go for next boolean. So here is the difference between the next and the next line. We have seen some programs on top of it. So this is all about the yesterday's class, and today we will start about a new topic, which is Java inheritance, right? So inheritance means one class can take the properties and behaviors from another class. So let me put it in the paintbrush for the better understanding. So whenever you get a question, right, in the interview room, if you get a question like what is an inheritance, okay, this is how you start. Inheritance means one class, which is called as child, can take the properties and behaviors from another class, which is called as parent. Let me give you an example. Okay. Let us say that I have two classes. The name of the one class is A, and the name of the second class is B. So these two classes are what? They are the independent classes, right? Both are independent. Okay, you have the business logic in class A, and you have some business logic in the class B. Or else I can say that you have some methods in class A. Let us say that the name of the method is void m1. Okay, and you have some methods inside the class B. Let us say that the name of the method is m2, right? And this is how the classes are going to be. Okay, there is one class and there is the another class, right? Both are independent class. So this is the A class and this is the B class. What I'm doing is I'm going to use a specialized keyword. Okay, the keyword is what? Extends keyword. Extends. This keyword is going to establish a relationship between two classes. You can use this keyword so that this keyword is so powerful that it makes a relationship between two classes. It establishes a relationship between two classes. What kind of relationship that it is going to make? A parent-child relationship. For example, if I use this extends keyword next to the class B, when I say extends, right? And which class I want to extend? Okay, I want to extend class A. I want to extend it to what? I want to extend it to class A. 1 minute, guys. I want to extend it to class A. So I have just used what? I have just used the extends keyword, right? The moment you use the extends keyword, okay, it is very powerful enough to make a relationship. Okay, so there is a relationship between class B and the class A. Now there is a connection between the class B and the class A, right? The class that is after the extends keyword, the class that is after the extends keyword, or else the class that is towards the right hand side of the extends keyword is called as what? You can call this class as base class, or super class, or parent class. Okay, the class that is on the left of the extends keyword is called as what? Derived class. Okay, or what? Subclass, or you can also call it as what? The child class. This is what the inheritance is. This is for the inheritance. You are establishing a relationship between two classes, right? Establishing a relationship between two classes so that one class become the child class. In this case, the class B becomes the child class and the class A becomes the parent class. So that this is very important point. All the properties and behaviors can be inherited by the child class. What does it really mean? Let me write that here. All the properties and behaviors can be inherited by the child class from the parent class. It means, okay, so this method is there, right? Void m1 method. This void m1 method is part of class A, which is called as what? Which is called as the parent class. So this is the parent class, right? This is the parent class, right? Since this class B is extending class A, right? When you create an object for the class B, for example, let us assume that object is being created for the class B. So this is how you create an object, right? B instead of obj, I am taking it as small b. Let me take obj. B obj equal to new b. Usually this obj can see all the methods. It has access to all the methods of that particular class, which is method 2. But you are using extends keyword, right? So now this obj, this reference variable, okay, has access to, okay, by using this reference variable, you can invoke method 2. You can invoke the same class method, and as well as you can also invoke the parent class methods. Okay, having said this, if I ask you how many methods does the class B have, what would be your answer? Okay, our answer should be what? There are two methods. One is visible method, which is m2. Since you are using the extends keyword, this m1 method is also available for the class A, I mean class B. Class B has access to these two methods, m2 method as well as m1 method. If I ask you how many methods are there in class A, only one method, because it is acting as the parent class, only one method. But if I ask you how many methods are there in child class, you have mu method, m2 method, and it is extending to class A, and this method is also available to the class B. That is what I said here. Inheritance in Java means one class or child class can take properties and behaviors of the from another class, which is parent class. Let me give you the one more example for the better clarity. Now focus here. People who have just joined now, you can focus this, you will get better understanding. Let us say that I have a class like father class. Usually what the father, father, they have what? They have money. Right? Let us say that they have some money, like, they have earned some money, something around, some money. Okay. And they have, let us say that they have a bike. 0, 1. And also they have, let's say that they have something like void method, void property. Okay, and here what I'm saying, from I'm giving the shortcut here, system.out.println. Okay, one house. Bedroom flat. Okay? So these are the properties. I mean, what I can say, this is the method, and these are the attributes, or it is, we can call it as variables. So these are part of father class. Let us say that there is a child class in class child. Okay, I'm being very specific for the child class. Let us say that child class as something like void education. The system dot out println UG undergraduation. Okay, when the child is extending to parent, I mean extending to father, right? Don't you think that usually in the real world scenario, real world analogy, all the properties, what are the properties which the parents earn, or what are the properties that the parents make, what are the money that the parents make, is available to the child by default, isn't it? Access can be granted very easily to the child, right? The father's property is also called as the child property, right? The same thing applies here. I have two classes here, father and child. Since I am using the extends keyword, okay, I can do it like what? This can be father, parent class, and this can be what? This can be the child class. Okay, so I'm taking the child as child itself. Since I'm using the extends keyword, there is a relationship, which means, okay, the child has access to all the properties and behaviors of the parent class. The child class has access to these variables, this method, as well as this method, since you are using the extends keyword. Okay, what does it really mean is, when you create an object for the child class, child c equal to new child. Okay, this reference variable can able to access education method, property method, and these variables, because of this extends keyword, because of the relation. Child can access all the properties and variables of the parent class or the father class in this scenario. Okay, this is what it is. Let me give you the let us do this practically for the better understanding. Okay, so let me create, I'm going to use the same class. Let me remove this. I'm saying class father, class child extends father. Okay. Let me see if, let us say if you're not using extends keyword, so let us say that father and child, they are the separate entities. Okay, father as what? Father as property. The name of the method is property method. Let me take it as public property method. System dot out dot 1 minute. System dot out dot println hk flat. Okay, child as what? Child as education. A method called education. Okay, now both these two methods are independent methods. If you notice, okay, I mean these two classes are completely independent. Okay, there is no relationship between these two classes. So I have three classes totally. How many classes I have? Three classes totally. Father class, child class, a class like a read data. Don't worry about the name. You can give any name, but this class has the main method, right? So execution will always start from the main method. If you create an object for the child class, child c equal to new child. Okay. So by using now this reference variable can access all the methods of the child class. Only the methods of the child class. I can do what? I can call c dot education. Right? But I cannot call with this reference variable. I cannot call a method that is there inside this father class. Property is the method. I cannot call that because that method is part of what? That method is part of a different class. It says method property is not that property method is part of father class, but object is created for the child class. But if I want to execute this method, don't you think that I also need to create an object for the father class, so that with the help of father reference variable I can call the property method, with the help of child reference variable I can call the education method. Now this is going to work fine. Okay, UG 2 BHK flat, but my requirement is this: I want to establish a relationship between father and the child. How you can establish a relationship? Just remember only one thing: extends keyword. Extends father. Okay, now if I ask you a question, okay, now I do not want, previously we have created object for two different classes. For the child class we have created an object, for the father class also we have created an object. Memory is getting wasted, right? Okay, now what I can do, I can create object only for the child class. With the help of this reference variable, I can call all the methods of child class as well as all the methods of parent class. See, now we are using the reference variable C here. I can able to call C.education. This will be printed. I'm using the same reference variable. I'm able to call property. C.property. Okay, property means it is not available in the child class. Since you are extending it to the father class has the property. This extends keyword is enabling this object reference to call the method of the parent class, which is your father class. Okay, this one program I will help you to visualize this thing, and then we can you know we can understand about the type of inheritance. Let's visualize this, how the execution flow is going to start. This is the class now. Okay, focus here. Eclipse will take care of storing the .java, storing the file with .java extension. Okay, it will consider read data.java. Why? Because main method is there inside the read data class, right? So that will be ideally used to use as the file name read data.java. You may be thinking father is also a class and child is also a class. Why those names are not used with .java extension? Look at the main method. Main method is part of read data class. This will be considered for the file name. Okay, after this compiler automatically, these things will happen automatically. Compiler will come into the picture. It will consume what? It will consume read data .java file, and it generates what? It generates the .class file. Java file becomes .java becomes .class file, right? Data.class file. Okay, later, the moment you start hitting the which button? Play button, right? The run button. We don't call it as play. We call it as the run button. Okay. The JVM comes into the picture. As soon as you hit the run button, everything will happen automatically. This read.class file will be loaded. Okay. One more thing, observe here. How many classes are here? Okay, you have father class, you have child class, and you have. Can someone tell me how many classes are there inside this particular file? How many?
Yes, sir.
Three classes, right? Okay. What will happen is the compiler, it is consuming read data.java, right? Read data.java. For each and every class, it is going to generate .class files. Okay. So in this case, it will produce three .class files. Why three .class files? How many classes are there? Three classes. Father.class will produce father.class file, child.class file, and read data.class file. A compiler will produce three. If you have four classes here, it will produce four .class files. If you have five classes here, will produce 5 dot class files. But the question is, the moment you hit on run button, okay, it will check for the main method. Where is the main method? So this is the main method, isn't it? This main method is part of which class? This main method is part of read data class, right? Okay. That dot class file will be consumed by JVM. Making sense? Then the main thread will be created. Okay. The main thread, typically it gets access to the main method. Okay. And on the runtime, if you see here, object is created for which class? Child class, no? Child class, right? So this is the child class. So JVM should know, is there any dot class file for this child class? Right? Dot class file is there. Child dot class file is there. This will be loaded. Right? And again, this child class is extending to father class. Child is extending father. So there is a connection. Relationship is there. When the child class gets in, it is going to take father class as well. Since there is a relationship. Now all the three dot classes will be loaded. Now JVM can do what? JVM can do the execution. These things will become very clear, okay, when we start looking into the next topics. Right? Now what is happening? Child C equal to new child. Okay? An object will be created. The reference variable is what? Reference variable is C. Name of this object is C. This is memory. Because of the new keyword, memory is getting created, right? So this is C. Okay. Now this is not ordinary C. This is not ordinary reference variable. This reference variable is of what type? Child, I mean the child class type, which is also extending to what? Which is also extending to father class. Right? So what? So the method area, it is going to store the child class method names as well as the parent class or the father class method names. Right? So education method as well as property method. This is the reason why, okay, with the help of dot operator, okay, you are calling C dot education. C dot education. You can able to call the education method. You can able to call the property method just because of using the extends keyword. Right? Making sense? If I do the other way, for example, instead of creating an object for the child class, okay, if I create an object for the father class, father f equal to new father, okay, only I can access the methods that are there in the father class. I cannot access the method child class method. The real-time example also, if the parents are helping us to get education, so we get education. It doesn't mean like parents can also get educated, right? So they are investing on our education. Only children, they can get educated. So they go to school, they go to college, and they get degree. Okay, that degree is applicable only for the children, not for the father, right? Child property, I mean child's property, even by the reality also, the real time analogy also, child properties are not naturally inherited to the parents, but parents properties can be inherited to the child naturally. This is how the law is. Right? That is the reason why if you create an object for the father class, in this case parent class, only parent class method you can access. Okay, but there is an advantage. But when you create an object for the child class, you can access the method of parent class as well as the child class. Making sense? Are you any confusion you are facing here? We will shall we see one more example? Can we go with one more example? Say yes in the chat box. We will go with one more example. I will give you one more analogy. Okay, this sounds good. Okay, let's go for one more example. No issues. Okay, one more real-time example. Forget about father and child. Instead of father and child, okay, let me take like this. Let me take a vehicle class. Okay, let me remove all this. Remove all this. Class vehicle. Name of the class is vehicle. Okay, I'm going to have two subclasses. Class car. I'm going to have okay, and class bike. I'm going to. So vehicle. Every vehicle. What is the common thing that you can see in every vehicle? Every vehicle is meant for the transportation. They move, right? Every vehicle they move. Vehicle is moving. Okay. Car is also called as a vehicle, right? Car is a subset of vehicle. I can say that car is also a vehicle. This is what the real English is, right? Car is also a vehicle. But in Java, they don't understand this English. Instead of writing is also in vehicle, you just use what? You just use extension. Same thing. Bike is also in vehicle. Or else I can say that bike is a subset of vehicle. You can also call a bike as vehicle, right? Bike is also a vehicle, subset of vehicle, right? But Java doesn't understand this English grammar. Also, a will be replaced with extends, right? You have a vehicle, car in for no vehicle is the parent for car. Vehicle is also a parent for bike because both are subsets. One common thing, even car moves. That's why common logic is there in the parent class. Even bike moves. That's why common logic is there in the parent class. Right. So what is the special thing that you have in a car? If you have any specialty for a car, okay? The specialty for a car is you can play music inside a car. Right? Music, you can enjoy music. Enjoy music inside. Okay, what is the specialty of a bike? Specialty is there is no specialty. I can consider something like kickstart. You have to start the bike. Bike needs to be what? Kick-started. To start the bike, it needs to be kick-started. Bike has to be kick-started. A specific future. Okay, the children have specific future. Like I said, the father and child relationship. Child has education, father doesn't have sometimes, right? The common things will be there placed in the parent class. The specific things will be placed in the child class. If I take these three classes, if I take these four classes, I want to draw the eye level diagram. Okay, let me remove this. Focus here, guys. Focus here. It will make more sense now. Okay. Let me separate the main method. Separate the main method. Okay. So I have what? I have a class called vehicle class. Vehicle class. And I have, let us try to identify the independent class. Vehicle is an independent class. And the read data is also an independent. Read data, name of independent class. Okay. And if you see car and the bike, car, and you have what? You have something like bike, right? So there is a car class, there is a bike class. Okay, don't you think that a relationship is established? Car is extending vehicle, which means car is a vehicle, right? So car becomes child, vehicle becomes parent. Okay, car as what? This is child class and this is the parent class. And again, bike is also extending a vehicle. Bike is a vehicle, so I can, by using extends keyword, bike is also a vehicle. This, how many children are there? You know, parent has two children. One is car, second one is bike, and the vehicle is parent, being a parent for car or the bike class. But this read data is something independent class. There's no dependency with anyone, right? So here, when you see, now I will ask you one very good question. How many, can someone tell me how many methods are there in read data class? So if I ask you a question, how many methods are there in read data class? Main method
One
is
method.
only one method. Main method is a one method. Good answer. Only one method you have. By looking at it, we can say anyone with eyes can say one method. How many methods are there in child class? I mean the car class. Car class. Car class has access to how many methods? Think and tell me.
One method.
Two methods. Very good. Car class has this play music method, and it can also inherit the method from the vehicle class. That is the purpose of extends keyword. Since you're using extends keyword, this car class has access to play music and it has access to the move method. So two methods are there. You agree with me? Okay, how many methods are there in bike class now?
Two.
What? How many?
Two
Bike.
method.
Only two methods. Specific methods which is kickstart, and it is also extending to what? Vehicle class. So this is also this bike method. I mean this bike class can also inherit the vehicle class method since you are using the extends keyword. So two methods. So here you have two methods. Here you have two methods. Okay, how many methods are there in vehicle class?
One method.
Only one method. Okay, only one method. Now the answer itself is here. Okay, when you create an object for this car class, car c equal to new car, okay, you can get access to these two methods. Okay, when you are creating an object for the bike class, bike b equal to new bike, you can get access to these two methods, right? When you create an object for the vehicle class, vehicle b equal to new vehicle, you can get access to the only one method. One method, because that is only one method. This is the idea here. I code this. Okay. I create an object for the car class, car c equal to new car. Okay. By using this one reference variable c dot, I can able to access the specific method of car, which is what? Play music, and also I can able to access the its parent class method, vehicle method, which is move. Output is what? Enjoying music inside the car, vehicle is moving. Okay. Likewise, if I create an object for the bike class, bike b equal to new bike, I can able to access the methods of the child with this, which is what? Kickstarted, right? Kickstart, and also I can able to get access of its parents method, which is what? Move. Enjoying music inside the car, vehicle is moving. Bike has to be kickstarted, vehicle is moving. Okay. This one reference variable is defining how many methods you can call. This, by using this one reference variable, you have this class has access to both the child method as well as its parents method, parent class method. Likewise, it has access to its child method and its parent class method, right? But if you create an object for the vehicle, if you create an object for the parent, vehicle v equal to new, child can inherit parent class method, but parent cannot inherit the child class method. Okay? You can access only the parent class method. Vehicle is moving, parent class method is getting used. Are you able to getting what I'm trying to say, everyone? Can I get yes from everyone? Or no from anyone? Already you have answered. Okay, now you see guys, interesting part is, there is interesting part. So we know what is inheritance. You can keep it very, answer is very simple. This is the answer. Okay? And why use inheritance? Okay, whenever the inheritance is coming into the mind, just remember the word reusability. Reusability. Why reusability? Okay, you do not want to write this method again here. See, even car moves, right? If I'm not using, if there is no such relation, if there is no such extends keyword, let me remove this. If there is no such thing, I have to write this move method here also. I have to write this move method for the bike also. Okay, how many lines of code I am using it extra? Here 5 lines of code, and again 10 lines of code is getting added, right? 10 lines of codes are getting added. There is no concept of extents. Okay, if there is no concept of extents, I can remove this. I can also remove this. Okay, I can also remove this. Okay, but this move method, I need to place it in bike class. This move method, I should also place it in the car class. And this move method is also there in the vehicle class. It is not making any sense. Move method, since this move method is a very common method for, for the vehicle or for the car or for the bike, right? Instead of writing it for 3 times, instead of using this method for 3 times, I can keep the common method in the parent class. I can write a parent class such that the parent class is going to have the common methods, and the child class can inherit that common methods. If it is really a subset, if it is really able to make a relationship, this is the relationship. Right? I can remove this. I can also remove this. Just use the extends keyword, extends car, problem solved. Just use extends, I mean not extends car, extends vehicle, problem solved. Just use extends vehicle, problem solved. Right? One more example I will give. Now we will understand. Okay, this is the real time analogy. A father has a car and a house. Look at this. A father has a car and a house. The son automatically get access to the car and the house, right? And the son can also have his own bike. Father class is like it has father has a BMW car, father has a big bungalow. A son has the KTM bike. And also, son can inherit properties and behaviors of the parent class. BMW is also available for son. Big bungalow is also available for son. Example. I will put this in the note. You can practice this. Keywords. Extends. Used to inherit from a child class to the parent class. Child extends parent. Inherits everything from the parent. Here just a concept description. Parent or superclass, child or subclass. Extends keyword is used to establish inheritance. Now we will understand about the types of inheritance. Single inheritance is there, multiple is there, multi-level is there, hybrid is there, hierarchical. Let us understand one by one. Let me remove all this. Okay, I'm taking the class as college. A void name, okay, public void name, system dot out dot. Let us say that college name is Ravan Naidu College. Okay, and I have another class student. Let us say that student. Goal. So there is a college class, there is a student class. I just make a relationship. Extends college, right? So this college has common behavior or common method. Name is going to be called common for all the students, right? No matter the student is coming from Ongole or Nellore or Gudur or Chennai, it's going to be common, right? So I will place this in the parent class. If you consider this, okay, if I ask you what kind of inheritance relationship is there here, okay, just write the diagram. You have a college class, you have the student class. The student, okay, you have what? You have college. Okay, and since you are using the extends keyword, right? A inheritance relationship is established, right? So this is called as what? Single level inheritance. When the one class is extending to another class, only one class is getting extended to another class. Single level inheritance. Right? Look, by looking at this flow, the high level diagram, you can see one parent class, and one parent class is there and child class is there. Child is extending parent, single level. Only one level is there. Only one level is there. This is called as what? Single level inheritance. Go by the definition, combination of one parent and one child class. Right? Let us run this. Okay. By using the student object, I can do student is equal to new student. I can get access to the student class method, which is what? Which is location. I can also get access to his parents class method, which is what? Which is the name, college name. One reference variable I can use, I can able to get access to two methods. Single level. Only, okay, one parent class and one child class, single level. Right? If you want to make it as what? If you want to, we want to understand the multi-level inheritance. Let us say that I have a student, right? University name I am taking system.out.println JND. Okay. The college class is extending university. Okay. Student class is extending college. Now you see, okay, now look at this. How many classes I have? One is the university class, second one is a college class, Third one is the student class. Right? Student is extending college. Let me write it here. University, college, student. Okay. Student is extending to college. Student is extending to college. College is extending to university. Okay. Extends. Extends. Okay. Now this becomes child class. This becomes parent class. This becomes grandparent. Okay. Now there is more than one level, right? More than one level. When there is an inheritance which is more than one level, you call it as what? Multi-level inheritance. T-level. Inheritance. Right? If I ask you, can someone tell me how many methods can the student class access? How many methods can student class access? If I create an object for the student class, student is equal to new student. Okay, how many methods? Yeah, three methods, right? This S variable can access the current student class method, which is location. Flexibility is there, no? And also this X method can access its parent class method, which is the name method. Okay, this S variable can access the grandparent class method, which is what? The university name method. If I ask you, if I create an object for the college class, how many methods this college class can access? How many? Only two, because it's extending only to university. So the C variable can access the name method. This C variable can access the university name method. If I create an object for the university class, how many methods this university this variable can access? Only one. So U dot university name. If you see, there is a lot of advantage when the object is created for the child class. With the help of child class, we can able to access all the parent class method and all the parent class method. And if you just climb up the ladder, if you just go up the hierarchy, okay, the parent class can access only the grandparent class methods. The grandparent can access only its methods, its individual methods. So this concept is called as multi-level, more than one level. If you go by definition, multi-level is nothing but more than one parent will access one child in a tree-like structure. It's a kind of tree-like structure. Let us see what is hierarchical inheritance. Hierarchical is very simple. We have seen this just now. Hierarchical means one parent can have when one parent has more than one children. You take this vehicle as an example. This vehicle has car. Car is a vehicle. Bike is also a vehicle. Right? Car, the common parent for all the children. If you have one common parent, car is extended to vehicle and bike is also extended to vehicle. This diagrammatical illustration represent what? Hierarchical inheritance. Right? You go by the definition, combination of more than one child and one parent. Or else I can say that if one parent has more than one child. One parent class has 8 classes. Yes. So if you see this multiple inheritance, okay, this is something into interview question. multiple inheritance is not possible in Java. Why it is not possible in Java, I will tell you. Because of what? Because of the diamond problem. What is this diamond problem, sir? It's just like having, we have one child class. The one child class is extending more than one parent class. Or else I can say one child class has two parents or more than one parent. This is parent 1, this is parent 2, this is child. This is completely nonsense. It is not possible. Why? Let us go by the diagram. Let us say I have a class called, let me remove all this. Let us say that I have a class called A. My A class has one method, void M1 method. Let me say this is what simple logic is M1 method of A. Let me take another class, class B. This B class also M1 method of B. One logic, simple logic. I have taken two independent methods. Let me say I have what? I have class C. Okay, my class C is extending to B as well as A. My class C is extending to B as well as A. Right? Let me keep one method for class C. Void M2 dot outer println M2. Okay, just understand this diagram. If I want to draw this, I have I have one class, I have three classes, right? This is one class, this is another class, and this is another class. So you have what? You have A independent, B is also independent. But what C is saying, C is extending to two classes. If you see here, C is extending to B and A. Okay. One child but two parents. One child but two parents. Okay, parent 1 and parent 2. This is child, right? Let us say that we are creating an object for the child. See, okay. Before that, this A method, this A class is M1 method. B class is also M1 method. This C class is M2 method. Okay. When I create an object for the class C obj equal to new C, I want to call how many? I want to call M2 method. I mean M1 method. I want to call M1 method. What happens? This M1 method is definitely not part of class C, because class C has, there is a class C which has only M2 method, right? So there is no concept of M1. M1 method is not there. But M1 method is part of what? Is part of both the parent classes. This M1 method is there in A class. This M1 method is there in B class. What happens? This control, okay, the main thread will try to do what? Will try to call M1 method which are there in both the classes. It will go here and there. Then and there. I mean, will check for M1 method. It is there. It is also here. And it will go back and it will come back, go back, come back, go back, come back, go back. This operation will be repeated. There will be a confusion created which M1 method needs to be called. You want to call M1 method. M1 method is not there in the child class, but it is there in the parent class. But two parents are there. B is also a parent, A is also a parent. Which M1 method it needs to call? A lot of confusion will be created. So this concept is called as what? This concept is called as what? Ambiguity. It will not, the main thread will not in a position to decide which M1 method needs to be called. Ambiguity is there. Confusion is there. Big confusion is there. What is there? A big confusion. The term big confusion is called as what? Ambiguity in Java. Ambiguity. Ambiguity. Because of this ambiguity problem, spelling mistake, sir. Because of this ambiguity problem, multiple inheritance is not possible. This is called multiple inheritance. Multi-level is different. Multi-level is which you have just, that is possible. Child, parent and grandparent, that is possible. Multiple is not possible because of this ambiguity issue. Making sense? A confusion will be created, right? There is a method name, a common method name in both the parent class. Which method it has to call? Confusion. It cannot decide. It cannot make a decision. So Java people say, since it is going to create a lot of confusion, since the compiler is going to get into the confusion, they have just said multiple inheritance is not possible in Java. Right? If you just practice this in the code, you will understand. That's why we are getting an error here. You see, you cannot use more than one class after the extends keyword. After the extends keyword, you can extend to only one class, not more than one class. Okay, note, point to be noted. More than one parent will have access to one this one, more than one parent will access one child parallel at a time. Or else I can rewrite this. Then one child class has more than that's why this because of ambiguity. Ambiguity means confusion, but it is not. It is not possible for classes, but possible for interfaces. Interfaces, we will see this topic in the future. Okay. Multiple inheritance, not possible. Single inheritance is possible. Multi-level is possible. Hierarchical is possible. Okay. Hybrid is also not possible because it is a combination of multiple inheritance or single inheritance. Combination of multiple and single. That's why it is also not possible because you have one multiple inheritance here. So this is all about inheritance. I will give these notes in the I will place these notes in the description. You do one favor for me. That favor is assignment. Open this assignment. Assignment 2. Good that you have completed this first two one. Okay, tomorrow you complete this language details. Okay, using multiple inheritance. Third one and the fourth one. Third assignment and the fourth assignment.